Today I'm at home. I got a customer's nice little Sumo Harley here. We're gonna be fixing the very bottom of this rear fender. We're just gonna be spotting it in. I'm not gonna paint the whole fender, not taking it apart. That's not what he wants. I'm just gonna sand this, feather these scratches out, prep it, and we're gonna do an in the panel blend through here and through here. At home, I use Norton sandpaper. In my opinion, it's some of the best sandpaper I've ever used. That's why I use it at home. We don't use it at school, guys, because it's just too expensive. A roll of this is about $47 depending on the grit. I'm going to be feathering this chip out right here with my DA. This is a Hutchins DA. I'm giving you a little history lessons here. I've had this DA since about 1992. You don't see them much anymore, and you're definitely not going to see them in school there. This thing is expensive and it's heavy, but it is so balanced and smooth. It is amazing. But there's nothing wrong with it, so if it ain't broke, don't fix. And yes, I do have a whole bunch of the new lightweight styles. It's just old dog, new tricks. This thing is great. Now, I'm going to stop with a 180 grit. You see I've got it feathered out. It's nice and smooth. I'm going to switch to 320. Now, I've gone over all those 180 grit scratches with 320 grit. And I have feathered it out even more so. You can see, and it's smooth. Now, all of my classes, at least from sophomore on up, you know what a feather edge is. If some of you freshmen are watching this, remember we talked about, we call it a feather edge because it's like when you grab the edge of a feather, if you ever have, and you pull your fingers off it, you can't feel where it stops. And that's exactly what we got there. You can see the different layers of paint, clear coat and stuff. It looks like there's a chance that this fender was repainted one time in the past. So now all I'm going to do is go around this with some 500 grit sandpaper by hand, and I'm going to get it ready for primer. Okay. Since I've got these areas of bare metal here, you could probably get away with, because they're small, of putting regular primer over there, but I'm not going to try it. So, this is really good stuff. This is made, well, it's by RM, a BASF company. It's a self-etching primer. Now, I'm only going to put, since it's only a small spot, I have it where you mix it in 2 parts, but this would be fine for something small like this. And all I need, that's all I need. And I'm going to let that flash off good. And that's going to etch in. It's actually going to eat into that bare metal. And I'll be able to just spray my regular primer over top of that. Okay, that self-etching primer had flashed off. And I chose to put black primer on here just because it won't require me to put as much paint on there, because the paint, the motorcycle's black. And for my students, you may notice that the tape I'm using is green. The tape we use at school is the yellow stuff, which is better than the normal. It's like the middle of the road. It's kind of like good, better, and best. And this green tape is the most expensive. It's what I use at home. Again, we couldn't afford that at school. I'm telling you all this, and you see I got the fancy masking cart just like we have at school and all that. You don't need all this fancy equipment or fancy supplies, big fancy DAs to do this. You can do it with stuff from Harbor Freight or Sears, and it doesn't matter. You can do it with hand sandpaper. It's just I have it. I am a professional, and I just happen to do some at home as well. Anyway, I'm going to let this get good and dry, and maybe the next time you see it, I'll have it prepped up ready for paint. Well, everybody, it's been about 3 or 4 days since I did the repair work and primed that motorcycle that is in my garage at the house. As you can see, I got the whole motorcycle's covered up with plastic, and I have taped off the floor so I don't kick up any dirt or anything off the concrete. And I preparing for what's called an in the panel blend. I'm just going to be spotting this area in. I'm going to be spraying some black solvent base coat, and then I'll come back and spot in the clear. You can probably tell I was barely pulling the trigger on that. Okay, that's flashed off. I'm going to put one more light coat on there. There you have it, all finished. Turned out really nice. I did this right in the shop at my house. And if you remember, I only actually painted this area right here. We did what's called an in the panel blend. It's called, like I melted in that edge. It turned out really nice.